Alright, man. Why do you call yourself Yahliq? And where I want to get to is you creating your own genre, Warrior Spirituals. I think it's very in tune to who you are. Who is that?
So Yahliq is a part of the journey that I was going through a couple years ago during the pandemic. I think, a lot of people took time during the pandemic to do a lot of things besides soul search, and I took the time to really look within myself. I was telling you and MB the other night, my birth name is Yahliq, and it's a Arabic name, an Islam name that means creator or God's creation. I've never been a super religious person because I kind of feel like everything's a cult, no matter what it is. But I started to prefer the name Yahweh, so I felt more attuned to Yah instead of my Arabic name. But it's not like I'm saying that Yahweh in the Christian faith is the only God or the God above all. I just like the name, and I feel like you can just like shit without it having to mean this is the end all be all. I just think Yahweh, Elohim, is a cool name for real. That shit rolls off the tongue
yeah.
And it's besides that, saying the Most High is the other thing. I would just the Most High. I think people take certain things too personal when it's I'm not about to identify with a whole book that was written before I was even around, bro. It's good lessons in all of the faiths, but I don't think it's anything worth fighting over.
Mm-hmm. That's what's up. I remember literally the first time we met you, and we were you were like, "Oh, my name is Yahliq," and then you walked away. We was all like, "Nigga, that name is hard as fuck." That was the first thing that stuck. I remember that. It was in the little Lucky Tree hallway. That nigga name tough as fuck.
It's a hard ass name, bro.
Warrior Spirituals. So when I was a kid, I remember this story very. So I was a kid. I grew up on the south side of Raleigh until I was 12, and then I moved to Nightdale when I was 12 years old. So when I was in 8th grade, up until the last half of my senior year, I stayed in Nightdale. But I grew up as a kid on the south side of Raleigh, so I felt just going through the situation of single mom household, not because my dad wasn't trying to be in my life, but because I personally feel as an adult from hearing the stories that your parents tell you, that it was a lot safer for me to be at my mom's house than it was for me to be at my dad's, even if my dad would have been able to provide better financially. Because until I got to the end of middle school was when he finally decided to start doing things legally. You know what I mean? So it's different if your mom is doing illegal things. A lot of niggas not really fucking with when I grew up, niggas had respect when it came to street business. So it was a lot of niggas not about to fuck with a single mom who out here just trying to get after it. But you a nigga, it don't matter if you got kids or not. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of understand that dynamic and why it played out like that. But that's why I felt like the Warrior came from. Just nights of, and this ain't my mom. Sometimes feels like I'm frustrated with her for our circumstance when we grew up. But it's not her fault, she did the best that she could with whatever she had, at her disposal. And whatever resources she had, we always got access to. We might not have had the, and one thing that I saw the other day was our parents are living life for the first time too, Mm-hmm. And when you put that into perspective, it kind of makes you think damn, now I'm the oldest kid, so I was the first kid my mom raised. And this is her first time raising a kid as well. Not just I'm the first kid she ever raised. It's her first time ever being a parent, and she doing that shit by herself. So it's that's where I feel the Warrior thing came from. Just those nights of having to fight through unfortunate circumstances, even though I didn't ask for them, And the spiritual thing came from just how that developed my soul, and how instead of me trying to, because I went through a journey in music where I was trying to act like I had to be and talk about my circumstances like a nigga who was molded to be the circumstance. And since I didn't identify with being the circumstance, a lot of music that I made, I never dropped anything on major platforms until 6 months ago. But a lot of my SoundCloud music and shit like that was just inauthentic. And after going through the pandemic, I was just like, I'm never gonna write a song if like I don't if it's not really about me or something that I've gone through or something that I resonate with that I can talk about in a way that's not like me trying to like sometimes shit be fun, but we can't be like that shit be cool. Like shit don't really be cool. You know what I mean? Like it do be like I do like making songs like deep in where like I'm talking about, but even if you listen to the verse, like it's stuff like Block Where I Grew Up Was Hot, They Probably Need Vents, where like, you know, that's a line, and like it's a simple line, but it's really talking about like they need an outlet for all of that frustration that's built up that makes the block hot. You know, they need some type of ventilation. They need something to let niggas breathe so they feel like they got opportunities to do something else besides make the block hotter. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's really where the warrior spiritual thing came from. Just, you know, fighting as a kid, whether it be, you know, not having hot water, not having lights, fridge not being like full fucking. My favorite babysitter that I ever had was a crackhead named Kathy, where she was the best person that I ever met.
Shout out Kathy.
Nah, shout out Kathy, rest in peace, because she gone now. But she was the best person I've ever met, like, in my life, because even though she was addicted to something so hard, it shows you the duality of humanity where, like, she could be so addicted to one thing, but, like, also be such a pure, genuine person when dealing with, like, kids. Like, she never offered me no drugs. Like, she was around a lot of, like, my mom wouldn't be around and she would be around, you know? And it was just, like, to see that duality as a kid, it make you kind of feel some type of way when people make judgments about people off of just seeing them. Because, you know, niggas would see Kathy and they be like, oh, this, that, and the third. And, like, as a kid, you can't really be like, bro, I beat your ass. But, like, as an adult, if somebody would have disrespect Kathy in front of me just because she's a crackhead, it would have frustrated me, like, a lot. Because you don't know somebody just because you think you know what makes people do what they do. You don't know what makes people. Kathy was like she had 6 figures in her bank account. Who was a crackhead, bro. Like, you would never get driving a Mercedes Benz, bro. Like, you would never be able to understand the duality of human. Like, and to experience that at such a young age, while also the people you looking up to talking down on people that you really look up to. It's just interesting because niggas would never be like, I looked up to a crackhead. But, bro, like, if she didn't teach me humanity, bro, I don't know what else she could teach me. You know, and that's some shit that you can't learn from niggas who not humbled by life. Like, she saw the bottom. She had everything she needed and still saw the bottom, but still found a way to be a good person, bro. So, like, I want to be able to make stories for people like that, like real one-of-one people that exist in real life, you know? Like, so that's the warrior spiritual thing.
Yeah, that's dope as fuck, man. Yeah, man. It's cool, bro. That's super cool. It's cool to hear the thought behind it, because I heard the music, and, you know, you said it before, and I think, I don't know, as artists, that's what we should do, too. Like, I'm not really into the whole genre thing. I think, like, everybody's sound is super unique, and, like, genre's just so arbitrary. But, just, like, paving your own lane with a sound, I think that's super cool. How you do, like, pull that off sonically, too. That's dope as fuck, man.
Thank you, bro.
Shout out Kathy.
Shout out to life, bro.